Mr. Boo.
Hey everybody, it is I, Mr. Boo, the Entertainment Guru, Mr. Boo, the Entertainment Guru, and I'm finally back full-time right here on YouTube. I had to go away for a few days, come home, go to work, get straight, but I'm back. If you want to know more about what was going on, I will be dropping a Beyond Entertainment video and posting it to my Beyond Entertainment playlist, but that's not why we're here. Today we're here to talk about what was happening while I was away, because while I was away, WWE 2K decided to play. That's right, they dropped gameplay, they dropped entrances, they dropped info. They're talking about Battle Pass, they're talking about gameplay, and they are talking about Showcase. So in this video, without further ado, let's get into the Battle Pass, and let's catch up with my take on the gameplay. So up first, we're talking the Ringside Pass, the new Battle Pass format for releasing DLC. And here's the info we got on WWE.2K.com. Now, with the announcement of WWE 2K26, 2K also revealed that they were evolving how they deliver DLC to us, the players, with the introduction of the all-new Ringside Pass offering more value than ever before, with more content beyond just those new playable superstars. The new Ringside Pass follows that old Battle Pass format, featuring both a free and a premium track of rewards. We understand that our community has many questions about how this is all going to work. So, they put together the first Ringside report right here to offer up some answers to, again, us, the players. They say they anticipate the change will bring a lot of questions from players. And it does. So let's just jump right into what 2K had to say. Like, how does it actually work? Well, the Ringside Pass Season 1 will go live on March 6th with early access, meaning that players will not have to wait until after WrestleMania for that first DLC. We can't wait to reveal contents in the next coming weeks. Every player will have access to the free track of the Ringside Pass. And this features 60 rewards across 40 tiers, and some of those rewards will feature bundles of content. So, to unlock this content, players will collect RXP, Ring Experience, by simply playing matches across most game modes, so long as they have an online connection. Wins will grant more RXP, and completing challenges, some repeatable and others via one-time milestone rewards. Those will also earn you some extra RXP, and this extra RXP will give you that opportunity to level up even faster. Now, as players progress through each level, unlocked items such as VC, My Faction Packs, MFP, Island Banners, etc., can be claimed while continuing to progress through the next level. For those of you, though, who are going to purchase the premium track via that Ringside Premium Pass, well, those players will be able to earn additional content, including the new DLC superstars, CAS parts, Island Taunts, Personas, and more. Now, this means that 60 additional rewards for a total of 120 across the free and the premium tracks. As players progress through that Ringside Premium Pass, both those free and premium tracks will be unlocked at the same time. So, if a player has reached, let's say, Tier 5, they will earn the rewards from both tracks at Tier 5. Which game modes are actually going to be rewarding the RXP, you say? Well, hey, it does say here, the following game modes reward RXP that will earn Ringside Pass progression are Play Now, Universe Mode, My Rise, The Showcase, My GM, and, of course, My Faction, and, well, The Island. Now, how many Ringside Passes will there be? Well, they say there will be a total of 6 Ringside Passes released throughout the entire year. The roster of DLC superstars that will be revealed in the coming weeks, and as we get closer to the release of each Ringside Pass, will all share some of the additional rewards across both the free and the premium tracks. So we all know that Battle Passes, well, they have a habit of expiring, but What happens to the older ringside passes after a new one is released? Well, will we lose the opportunity to unlock that content? Well, according to 2K, when a new season of Ringside Pass launches, the prior season will not expire, meaning players can still continue unlocking content before moving on to the next season. Or players can put that season on hold, move on to the next one to unlock content there, and then they can return to that prior season they had to put on hold. Then they give an example. When Ringside Pass Season 2 launches, if players are still in the middle of the Ringside 1 unlocking content, they can either first complete that Season 1 and then move on to Season 2, or they can jump straight into Season 2 and unlock content, and then, when they're done with Season 2, jump right back into Season 1. Now, for all those online players, it says here, can I earn RXP in online matches? Well, yes. Yes, you can. You can earn RXP in online matchmaking, the island, or my faction. But you do not, however, earn any RXP via custom online lobbies. Can we share the Ringside Premium Pass with family on the same console? Well, they say similar to DLC in the past. If you do own the content and other family members share the same console as the player who purchased the game and the DLC, well, they too can access that content. The progress made through the Ringside Pass, though, well, that progress is unique to each player's profile. How do we get the new DLC characters, they ask, and they explain as well. Each premium version of the Ringside Pass will include the new post-launch DLC characters, with the first one unlocking automatically. The rest can then be unlocked within the first 20 tiers by earning RXP, just for playing the game. Other playable characters, such as personas, will generally be available from tiers 21 to 40. Now, besides the new DLC characters, each Ringside Pass premium track will also include new personas, thus adding even more playable characters to each pass. So we move on to a very good question. What about those good old WWE legends that have been previously unlocked via the in-game store or automatically when we have purchased that Supercharger DLC? And it states that those WWE legends that would typically have been added to the in-game store and unlocked via tokens or with a Supercharger have now been added to that free track of the Ringside Pass Season 1. We have to grind for them, everyone, because it says players can still unlock these legends by simply playing the game, earning RXP, and claiming them in the Ringside Pass without any additional purchase, giving more options than ever before to earn RXP. Grinding for them. And then it states the question, is there a way to unlock everything at once? Here's the answer. For those who play through the Ringside Pass Season 1, select WWE Legends are unlocked by earning RXP and completing the first season. The Supercharger pack has been retired, everyone. We have to grind for things we once could just unlock. And then it says, for players who have purchased the premium track, we will provide the ability to purchase tier skips, money scheme, tier skips, but those are completely optional. Players can then continue to unlock rewards with RXP by playing the game without any additional purchases. When will the Ringside Pass be revealed? It states, Ringside Pass Season 1 will go live with early access on March 6th. So, good news, Season 1 at launch. That's awesome. DLC Day 1. While the rest will then be released over the course of the year, approximately every 7 weeks. This marks the first time that post-launch DLC characters are available, again, like I said, at launch. And then it says the current planned release schedule is as follows. Ringside Pass Season 1, again, Day 1, March 6th with early access. Ringside Pass 2, April, sometime before WrestleMania 42. Then we're going to go on to June with Ringside Pass 3, July, Ringside Pass 4, and Ringside Pass Season 5 will then hit in September as Ringside Pass Season 6 sometime in October. And then the last thing says, well, what's next? And that is we will reveal the full DLC roster at a later date that will spread across the premium tracks of all 6 Ringside Passes. As we get closer to the release of each new Ringside Pass, we will also then be announcing other rewards such as those aforementioned personas or content for my faction and the island, as well as those release dates. The rewards will also vary between packs to allow us to provide some unique offerings such as different creative superstar parts, new moves, and more. Then it states that the premium track of Ringside Pass Season 1, for instance, will include 4 new playable superstars as well as 2 personas, 2 new arenas, and 2 new championship belts. Now, with all that said, on your screen now, we're going to put up a screenshot of a supposed leaked photo of the Ringside Pass, and I believe if this is not real, it is definitely going to look very similar because it's going to look very similar to the NBA 2K Battle Pass on the basketball game that 2K develops, and it does look like we are going to get bundles depending on what pass you have, whether you get the free or the premium, because with the premium you end up getting both, so you're going to be getting at least 2 to 4 rewards each time rewards are given at different tiers. Now, with all this said, I just got to go over my thoughts on the Ringside Pass, and then we'll jump right in to that gameplay. So, my thoughts are this. Simply put, the good. Well, the good is that there's more content across the lifespan of the game, more incentive to play, and possible replayability. There's more chances to earn personas and card packs for my faction. The pass never runs out, so you can finish all of them without losing out when you're still on a previous season and the next season drops. But I gotta follow it up with the bad. We gotta talk money grabs, like the premium tier and the premium tier skips. And one thing no one's talking about is we're only technically getting like 4 new DLC characters and the other 2 every pass. Guys, they're just personas of people we already have. So technically when you look at it, we're actually getting less new superstars than we did in those previous DLC packs. Then there's the grind for legends those spots on those passes could have been filled with new legends or other prizes on that tier. So it seems like it's pretty balanced between the good and the bad, the positive and negative. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comments down below. What do you think about the Battle Pass? If it's done right and correctly and the rewards are worth it, do you think it's something that they'll continue in the future? Or do you disagree with the Battle Pass? Do you disagree with them taking on a Battle Pass format for our WWE DLC that hasn't changed in years? Again, comment down below, and we are going to move on to the gameplay. So, the gameplay shows off new match types. This year, they added 4 new match types that us fans have been asking for, with each bringing new strategies, win conditions, and unforgettable moments to the ring. To start off, they have added the I Quit match back into the game. One of WWE's most punishing stipulations makes its long-awaited debut. It's a classic 1v1 contest where victory doesn't come from a pin or a submission, because it's all about breaking your opponent's will. Players must wear down their opponent until they finally surrender and say those words, "I quit." And what I'm seeing here in the footage is the I Quit match will work similarly to how it worked in the past, where the referee has the microphone and is asking if you quit or submit. But there's some new things here. We got a screenshot of the kendo stick submission coming back, and we see Braun Breaker with Seth freaking Rollins with an armbar through the chair. Ladies and gentlemen, the steel chair has a new submission mechanic, as well does the I Quit match. Because even though the ref is still holding the mic, we get a new mini game where we have to fill up a meter or try to not fill up the meter to either say I quit or make our opponent say I quit. Now, next up, for those of you who tuned into SmackDown recently, and you were hyped by the 3 Stages of Hell match, the championship match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, well, It's coming to WWE 2K26 as well, because players will now be able to pit two superstars against one another in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. And this is across 3 different match types. All 3 stages are also user defined so that players can choose any combination of match types that they want to duke it out in. Now, there's some key factors here on the 3 stages of Hell match too, is it does work like it did in previous games. We are in charge of picking the 3 matches, whether it be a singles, street, or cage, singles, street, Hell in a Cell, Extreme Rules, table, dumpster. We are in control of the 3 matches, and I think that's cool, as you see from the screenshot on the screen. But also, there's a new mechanic involved where it seems like as we transition from, let's say, street fight to cage match, and hopefully with what was said in an interview, I've got this correct. God, I hope I'm correct. The cage you'll get like a cutscene and the cage will come down, but it'll seamlessly, as I said, seamlessly, that's the word here, transition into the next match. So the damage, the destruction, possibly the weapons laying in the ring will now be in the cage or the cell or somewhere around that next match to be utilized. At least that's what I'm hoping. But it was stated that the stuff done in the previous match should still be there, as it's a seamless transition and it's not a complete restart with the next fall. Next, we're going to continue to throw the rules in the trash because they're introducing the dumpster match. Now, the objective is simple in this 1v1 match type, and that is to simply throw your opponent into the dumpster and slam that lid shut. Now, when we first saw this match, we thought it was a direct reskin of the casket match, and I do believe it is a reskin of the casket match when it is done ringside, but we now have got confirmation that it can be done in the NXT parking lot, and there's new interactions with it, like slamming your person up against it, dropping the lid on their head, slamming them into it when it's not sitting ringside. This brings kind of a new-ish match type, a reskin with benefits, we'll say. But now let's talk Inferno match. Do you miss the days when Kane and Undertaker would set each other on fire in one of these matches? Do you miss the fire and the spectacle? Well, the fire, the spectacle, the whole thing, it's coming back in dramatic fashion to WWE 2K26. The Inferno match here is a 1v1 match type in which the objective of the match is to set your opponent on fire. With the ring surrounded by flames, the more bumps and moves that are performed, the hotter the ring becomes. Grow the flames large enough for one superstar to finally set their opponent on fire and secure that victory. Again, a great returning match type. I love it. I love the Inferno match. I love that it's coming back. And it does seem to work similarly to the way it worked in the past. I don't know if we're going to get a temperature gauge and it's going to have to reach 500 again before we can throw them over, or if the flames are just at a certain point where when you throw them over, you can actually catch them on fire. And my question is, and I would like you to comment down below if you would like to see this as well. Guys, let's get interactive here. What if we could throw them over when the fire is not high enough, somehow get over ourselves, like jumping off the turnbuckle and out to the ringside? What if we could then fight ringside and set each other on fire that way? Much like one of the Inferno matches actually ended outside the ring when Undertaker caught Kane's arm on fire. They were outside the ring, I do believe. What if we could do that? That would add a whole new dynamic to this returning match and make it feel new and make it feel fresh. They also showed us these new start of match actions for matches. And we've had this in the past, but now they're here and making another return in WWE 2K26. Start of match actions in WWE are about more than just what happens during the fight. They're also about the moments that are leading up to that fight. So 2K is introducing a start of match action system. This year, this system will offer additional storytelling from the opening bell, as superstars can set the tone of the match before it even starts through a variety of options. One being playing to the crowd. Another, offer a handshake. Engage in some chain wrestling. Perhaps you want to trade blows. Or maybe you're the type to launch a surprise attack and get the jump on your opponent. You can control the narrative of the match from these opening seconds. So my take on this is I'm glad it's back. I think it's going to look great in these newer next-gen graphics. And I think it gives us a choice for storytelling in both my play, universe mode, just in general, more options, more storytelling, more creativity. And I'm really glad it makes a return. And I believe that each opponent gets to choose. And then I believe they show footage where Drew does not accept a handshake and just kicks his opponent. And these are options that I'm really glad made it in to WWE 2K26. And a new feature this year that I think won't add to per se storytelling, but will add to match progression and a more enjoyable time while playing matches, and that is AI settings and customization. When playing the computer, AI behavior has received a major upgrade, giving players more control over how superstars perform in the ring. The new AI sequences, it's a system that allows players to define specific move chains. The AI superstars will then attempt to execute those chains during a match. So, created and edited in Create a Moveset, these sequences influence AI strategy and attack selection, making matches feel more deliberate and authentic to WWE product. Additionally, AI superstars will also now display more natural reactions and animations in between actions they perform during a match. And it shows Penta doing his reverse sling blade into his trip in the corner into a drop kick, or one that is a big example that we could all know and we know too well is John Cena with the shoulder blocks into the 5-knuckle shuffle up into an attitude adjustment and trying to get the pin fall. I think this is going to overhaul the way the game plays when you are playing versus the computer, and I, for one, am very excited to have a game that might feel more authentic and the people will do the moves that they normally do. Again, one more example, Finn Balor, sling blade, throw you in the corner, give you that big drop kick, and then, you know what's coming, coup de grace. Next up, we actually got a look at some new commentary teams and some improved presentation on the overall game product. Commentary is crucial when tuning into a WWE match, and this iteration of WWE 2K26 introduces a refreshed commentary team featuring Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, but now also Booker T and Wade Barrett. Now this will add some more personality to each match that we play. We recently had Booker T and Wade Barrett in the studio, and they put in some serious voice work to bring all the realism of their commentary to WWE 2K26. So, make sure to listen for the iconic Booker T, no bread, no water, just meat, when you jump in to WWE 2K26. Now, on top of the commentary presentation, WWE 2K26 improves and elevates every match to feel closer to a live WWE broadcast. Camera refinements include improved depth of field, reduced dead zones, and enhanced camera shakes. Visual effects also have been upgraded to include improved particle lighting and full screen VFX. Entrances also became more interactive this year, giving players control over key gestures, taunts, and pyro, as well as moments that include multiple escalation levels that put the player in control of the intensity of a superstar's entrance. Commentary. That is a win-win-win. That is a banger after banger after banger. We got Booker T and Wade Barrett. Now, it wasn't stated how they were going to work. If we could choose our commentators, like we could choose our referees. But I would hope that you could do that, or maybe if they're set somehow in universe mode or set to shows when you're going to quick play and exhibition matches. But that is a plus, especially if they got those lines in there from Booker T like Chucky Ducky. And of course, he's going to go off when Stephanie Valkyrie does her devil's kiss. At least I hope. I hope that is in the game. But also what's in the game when it comes to The presentation, there's a new broadcast mode. The cameras are redefined. The VFX are better. The presentation overall is really improved from last year. And that includes those entrances that were talked about, because we got a glimpse of how you could set off your own pyro, much like AEW Fight Forever. But also, if you're a heel, you can gesture to the crowd, like shrug your shoulder or, rub them off in a certain way, or maybe speak to them derogatory, where you can see their mouth moving and their facial feature look angry. Maybe, as I would say, if the game was rated higher than teen, maybe you could flip the crowd off. Or if you're a face, you could hype the crowd up on your way to the ring. These are all things that bring that WWE presentation and what we see on day-to-day television into the game this year in WWE 2K26. With all of that said and all of that seen, we have a few more things to touch on here with gameplay, and then I'll get you out of here. Now, some of those other things that were shown and touched on in this ringside report are the new weapons and those weapon physics, as well as the return of being able to stack tables. They also touched on the improved barricade and the improved crowd fighting. Now, weapons. Weapons were shown not only in the submission move actions, but with the new selling animations as well. And I gotta say, it looks pretty good. The new weapons that were mentioned and shown were, of course, first of all, the thumbtacks. They can be dumped inside or outside the ring to bring on the pain. Now, in this footage, we did notice, sadly, there was no blood, no unique animations, no selling to the tacks at all. But that has since been talked about by the devs, and although we're still not going to get any blood, we did get confirmation there will be unique selling to the thumbtacks. But I gotta say, as long as the bruising on the body is as good, if not better, than 2K25, and the tacks stick in the body, which we do see here, I'm okay with no blood, because I think AEW Fight Forever had way too much blood when it came to the thumbtacks. Now, the second weapon is a returning weapon. The shopping cart is returning, and it has all the bells and whistles this time around, as you can now ram, bash, slam, or even push your opponent in it. You can even slam them into things while they're in it, or dump them out of it. There's even ways that once they're in it, you can attack the cart via weapon, or as shown in the video, a drop kick, while the opponent is sitting within the cart. And of course, stacking tables is back, and this goes hand in hand with the new weapon physics and the ragdoll upgrades, so let's talk about it. We saw in the trailer, Chyna takes an avalanche riptide to the stairs, and it looks great. As she bounces off the stairs, looks in pain, you feel the pain, and she actually bounces towards Rhea and down to the mat. And here in the ringside report, we get a better example as we see that though not completely flat on the stairs, when any part of your opponent connects, it actually reacts. Like we see here, the legs are reacting. They are hitting and bouncing off of the stairs. And then we see the stacked tables. They're being displayed as you can now have more ways to put your opponent through them, over the ropes, off the barricades, off of ladders. The physics are going to be back this year, and they are going to be insane. And lastly, we've got to talk about the barricade fighting, how it got an upgrade hand in hand with the crowd fighting. As in the crowd, there's now more space, and there's barricades. And ringside or crowd side, you and your opponents can now climb, jump off, and even fight on the barricade. Even moves can now be done from the barricade to that unforgiving floor. So now that I've taken up more time than I needed to, that's it. It's a wrap. This is the end. It's over. So comment down below, what do you think about the ringside pass? You like it? You don't like it? And what do you think about the upgrades, the improvements, and the gameplay? And also, don't forget, as always, if you like what I do here on Mr. Boo Entertainment Guru's channel, then go ahead and give that like button an avalanche riptide down onto the steel stairs. Or how about taking the subscribe button, putting its arm through the chair, and ripping it into a submission to say, I quit. And if you do both of those things, maybe you'll get that notification bell to ring, be notified of more of my videos when they drop, and that sound, it indicates you won the match. But on that note, I'm Mr. Boo Entertainment Guru, and until next time, well, I'm out.